Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm walking through a world of wonder. Oh, that should be the name of a segment. Walking through a world of wonder. Note to self. That is the name of a segment that I have. Note to self. Maybe we'll use that one today. Welcome to the show. I'm Mike. It's called The Mike Show. No, it's not. This is episode 1335. Broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today we have
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, and
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I sing a song for you now. On the Wednesday yesterday, I was walking with my friend. Her name is Katie. Yay. We were discussing all kinds of interesting stuff and a scoop of news. But then her dog rolled in some poop. It was cow poop. Why do dogs roll in poop?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's to disguise their smell, Mike. They use it in order to sneak up on their prey. What?
Mike's
That's ridiculous.
Daily
Logic.
Podcast.
Doggy.
Yeah!
Basil thankfully doesn't do that. Basil the boxer. And I was walking with Katie and her lovely dog Mally. And Katie was telling me a story about, well, she's dating this guy who's a Canadian. And he likes to say this.
Take off, you posers.
And he and she were staying at a nice hotel, and there was a ping pong table. Oh, look who just walked in. Hi, Mom. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How you doing?
That's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what.
What?
Benita and I sometimes play ping pong, but I like the part with the paddles, if you know what I'm saying.
Huh?
The paddles. I use it to smack her honey.
Oh, now I get it. Look who else walked in.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, boy. Have some delicious root beer.
Wait a minute. Thanks for the root beer. You actually hit your wife with a ping pong paddle?
Yeah, well, she likes it.
Yeah, Mac, it's fun.
Consenting adults.
Oh my gosh. I think there's something wrong with you.
What is the matter with you? Something must be wrong with you.
I don't know why that large door just slammed, but...
And here's today's podcast picture.
It was dramatic. Hey, look who just walked in for the podcast picture today, which is a drawing.
Hi, Mike. It's John Deere, the engineer, not the Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Mm-hmm.
That's right, you have a different voice from the Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Isn't that right, Disgruntled Fiddle Player?
Yeah, I have, like, more of a southern voice. And I fight bulls. And I am an engineer, and I fight skeptics.
You've got to be kidding me.
Mm-hmm. And I make robots.
Robot parade, robot parade. Wave the flags that the robots made. Shall we play a game?
All the robots here at Café Anyway.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Anyway. Café Anyway. She was telling me she wanted to go play ping pong with her boyfriend at a hotel. Okay, so they're waiting for the ping pong paddle and ball. There's this other couple playing. And then they're done. And they had to put she said to me, I could tell this story on your podcast, which she'd probably be way better telling it. But she said that just as we're standing right by this freaking road with all these cars zooming by, making all this noise, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to record you where I can barely hear you with the cars driving by. No. If we were in a nice soundproof room, maybe. If I could bring you, Katie, into my soundproof room. Where's that dramatic? That is kind of creepy. When you say to someone, I want to bring you into my soundproof room, it is a little bit strange. But, alright, it's not that strange. So she said, she told me that she wanted to play ping pong with her boyfriend, and so she put a little deposit down so that you can, I think you give them your driver's license so that you can go play ping pong. And then the other couple was done, and she got her driver's license back. They go play ping pong, and as they're playing ping pong, this other couple, a lot of couples are at this hotel for some reason in San Rafael, and this couple says, "Hey, can we play ping pong for like 5 minutes? Do you mind if we just take your ping pong paddles and your ping pong ball and play ping pong for 5 minutes?" And they're like both, "What? No, we're playing right now." So Katie told this story to some of her coworkers over on the peninsula where she works. And they're like, "Oh, you should have just given them the ping pong ball and the paddle and let them play. That's what they want to do. Just let them do it." And I was like, no, that's not... People have to wait. People have to learn how to wait. There's kind of this instant that in the society going on right now. Gratification. And it's ridiculous because people wait for things and they get rewarded for waiting. You don't get, just because you know how to ask a question, just because you're a squeaky wheel, doesn't mean you get what you want. No. Katie gave them her dang driver's license. And she spent the time and worked hard to... What the heck? Okay, it would have been much better if she would have told the story in the soundproof room. That's kind of creepy. But whatever. That was what she had to deal with on her love vacation. And the thing is people don't wait in the Bay Area. I told her, when I'm trying to shop at my local supermarket, and I'm there now at the cashier, and I am inserting my credit card into the little chip reader deal, and putting stuff in my bag or whatever. This has happened at several grocery stores in the area. Trader Joe's, Grocery Outlet, Safeway even. The person that's waiting behind me, here in the Bay Area, they don't wait. They're breathing down your neck. They're practically pushing you out of the way. The woman that was next to me was practically in my ear hole. She was... So they can't wait in the Bay Area. They just don't know how to wait, and it's ridiculous. And I don't know if it's the product of the children that are growing up. I know my Xer generation is also very impatient. Hell, I know my mom's impatient. Dang, is she impatient. So, patience, my friend, it's a virtue. Oh, have a little patience. Yeah. Guns N' Roses. All right, we're going to get to the segment Note to Self. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for being patient and waiting for the segment Note to Self. But tell people about this wonderful virtue called patience and how they should have it. And check out the podcast website, mikesdailypodcast.com. It's a fantastic place. If you'd like to comment on how you think people have patience or don't have patience, or when people ask you for things, even though you've got the ping pong paddle and ball, you should just give it to them. What do you think? Would you have given them the ping pong paddle? Or would you said something to the effect of go something off? Turn something off, or F off, or something to that effect. Would you have told them that? What would you have said? You can call me 366-663-2459 or 336-MM-DAILY. I am Mike Matthews. This is Mike's Daily Podcast. There's links to that phone number and my email and everything else at the website, mikesdailypodcast.com. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, click on that Amazon link, buy whatever it is you're going to buy that helps us out. There's also a PayPal link, too, for that. And you know what? Let's get to the segment you've been waiting for.
Note to self. And now we return you to our regularly scheduled program with Mike Matthews.
People get stuck on stupid, you know what I mean?
That basically sums up what the whole deal is. People get stuck on stupid. That sums it all up. Hey, an activist was convicted yesterday on criminal misdemeanor charges for laughing during Attorney General Jeff Sessions' confirmation hearing. I don't remember that happening, but she's 61 years old. Her name is Desiree Ferruz. That's her name, Desiree Ferruz. What a happy, happy name. She's a longtime member of the activist group Code Pink and was arrested January 10th during the hearing's opening statements. Ty Berry and Lenny Bianchi, also members of Code Pink, also with interesting names, who were dressed as members of the Ku Klux Klan, as commentary on what Code Pink describes as Jeff Sessions' racist past. Yes, he's a senator from Alabama. They were also arrested for causing a disruption. Barry and Bianchi were escorted out of the Kennedy caucus room and arrested first. Less than 30 minutes later, after the two men were removed from the room, Ferruz was removed and arrested. Alabama Senator Richard Shelby testified during his opening statement that Sessions' record of treating all Americans equally under the law is clear and well documented, and it was following this remark that Ferruz let out a huge laugh, allegedly. The government motion describes two bouts of laughter. In response to this statement, defendant Ferruz, who's been sitting with defendants Berry and Bianchi before their disruption removal, let out a loud burst of laughter, followed by a second louder burst of laughter, the document reads. But Ariel Gold, not to be confused with Ari Gold from Entourage, which I never watched because I do not like it, even though I didn't watch it. Mike, watch Entourage. All right, I watched the first episode and I was, ugh, who needs this Adrian Grenier and Jeremy Piven? But Ariel Gold is someone completely different and is the campaign director for Code Pink, who was sitting near Ferruz in the Kennedy caucus room, told NBC News that the noise was less than a cough. I would describe it as a reflex. It was such an appalling statement for Senator Shelby to make. This is such an absurdity that Mr. Sessions has a record of treating Americans equally that she just reflexively let out a noise. Oh, all I can say is, I am just sickened by the whole thing, said Mike Matthews. I am sickened by the whole thing, and it makes me nauseous. And I'm looking for the... There it is.
It makes me mildly nauseous to think that we might have had some impact on the election.
That would be James Comey. And that's that's the soundbite that's traveled around the world. Well, Comey, be nauseous, and you will be nauseous for the rest of your life. Get the Pepto-Bismol out. Get a huge, huge bottle, because you did affect the election, and that will be in the history books. So it's there, and deal with it. In a startling turnabout, Republicans say they are ready to push their prized health care bill through the House and claim a victory for President Donald Trump. 6 weeks after leaving it for dead, and days after support from GOP moderates seemed to crumble. House leaders planned a vote today on the legislation revamped since collapsing in March to attract most hard-line conservatives and some GOP centrists. In a final tweak, leaders were adding a modest pool of money to help people with pre-existing medical conditions afford coverage, a concern that caused a near-fatal rebellion among Republicans in recent days. The Republican from California, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, said, "We will pass this bill," he said yesterday. His view was echoed today by the chairman of the House Freedom Caucus, Republican Mark Meadows from North Carolina, who said in a television interview that we're optimistic that we'll pass it out of the House today. So this will probably have been passed out of the House now, by the time you've heard this. Meanwhile, Stephen Colbert responded yesterday to online criticism of his off-color joke about Trump that led to the hashtag fire, you're fired. No, the hashtag fire Colbert. Colbert, fire Colbert, and a call to boycott advertisers of The Late Show, which the comedian hosts.
I know what's good and bad.
That's right. So while I would do it again, said Stephen Colbert, I would change a few words that were cruder than they needed to be. I had a few choice insults for the president. I don't regret that. He, I believe, can take care of himself. I have jokes. He has the launch codes. So it's a fair fight.
WikiLeaks. I love WikiLeaks.
I really have no response. I have no Trump responses that I have canned that would respond to that, unfortunately.
I inherited a mess. It's a mess.
Trump's been, of course, the target of Colbert's pointed jokes and mockery for months now. Many on social media believe he went too far this past Monday night in making a joke regarding Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, and let's just say sex in some sort of way was involved. Meanwhile, in other late-night talk show hosts, Jimmy Kimmel, who gave his tearful ode to his newborn son Billy and talked about the ordeal of going through open heart surgery on his newborn son and how scary that was, and then also talked about the healthcare plan, the national healthcare plan, the ACA, and what Trump wants to do with it. Jimmy Kimmel has received an outpouring of love and support following his announcement. However, not everyone was empathetic toward him. Yes, a Republican from Illinois by the name of Joe Walsh. Not to be confused with that Joe Walsh from the Eagles. Wait, is it Joe Walsh? Steve Walsh is in Kansas. I have suddenly forgotten which Walsh is in the... I'm not going to look it up. I know it's something like that. Who is also in the Chain Gang. And I can't play any of their music on the radio station I work for because the company that represents the songs that he wrote, they do not allow radio stations to play the music. There's some kind of weird contractual copyright crap going on, litigious. So whatever, forget him. But the Republican Joe Walsh of Illinois tweeted his reaction to Kimmel's baby news on Tuesday, writing, "Sorry, Jimmy Kimmel, your sad story doesn't obligate me or anybody else to pay for somebody else's health care." Oh. Walsh is now a syndicated radio host, and he was referring Kimmel's opening monologue in which he made a case. Finally, Facebook released some user information on Wednesday, and it seems that at least some of its Snapchat rival products are working. By the way, I didn't mention, Patton Oswalt said this about Joe, as I jump back to the last story. You won't even pay child support for your own kids. We already knew you felt this way, you worm. No need to tell us, we're good. And Walsh rejected the congressional health insurance plan for his own family, although his wife Helen had a pre-existing condition and needed surgery while the couple was uninsured. Obama thanked Kimmel for his support in a tweet. Jimmy Kimmel, he said, "Well said, Kimmel. That's exactly why we fought so hard for the ACA and why we need to protect it for kids like Billy, and congratulations on the successful open heart surgery." Yes. Finally, okay, back to the Facebook thing. Yes, Facebook is absorbing all the stuff Snapchat does with Instagram, and people are using it. Mark Zuckerberg told analysts that Instagram Stories has 200 million daily active users, and WhatsApp Status, which they bought for like $9 billion, has more than 175 million daily active users. He did not disclose the number of users for Facebook Messenger's Dave feature. We're going to keep putting video at the center of all these services. By comparison, Snap has less than 200 million. They got about 161 million daily active users. And their stock went public and people bought it, and now people that bought it thinking that they just bought the next hot thing, they're like going, "Oh no." As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, Summer in Podcaster Valley.
Oh, snap.
thank you so much for listening to the show today. We covered a lot of ground. We did, and we saw that there people get stuck on stupid, and they got to get away from that. They got to get away from the paddles. And or maybe they need to get more paddles. Maybe we need to just start slapping each other. If someone is crowding you at a grocery store line, get out your ping pong paddle or your tabletop tennis paddle, if you want to be PC about it, and smack them upside the head. Get away from me. That's what we need, a more violent society. By the way, I was thinking about how I hate buddy cop movies. So many of those come out every year. Buddy cops, two cops, buddies, or detectives, they're buddies, and they solve crime, and they're buddies. And they're so violent. But I thought, hey, back in the 80s, we had a bunch of those. Kind of the Beverly Hills Cop was sort of a buddy movie. And then there was this one called Running Scared that had Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. Yes, Billy Crystal back when he was young, and he had this 5 o'clock shadow the whole movie, and he was this young hip guy, Billy Crystal, believe it or not. And there was a song from that movie that got huge by Michael McDonald that nobody remembers anymore, but it went, try sweet freedom, Caribbean and Dan, you want the magic, you're right where I wanna be. And it had this bass line, this boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, boom, which was stolen by Dirty Dancing and Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes for boom, I've been waiting for so long for you did boom, ba-dum. I've had the time of my life. Boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, boom. The same exact syntho bass thing. Just want you to think about that as you paddle through life. Next show, it will be Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!
And happy May the 4th!
Yes.